This is your review for chapter 11 and 12 test. So make sure you have a piece of paper out, that you're taking notes, and best preparing yourself for your test. The first problem says, if the circumference of a circle is 20 inches, what is the radius? Round to the nearest tenth. So we know the circumference formula is C equals 3.14 D. So what we're going to do here is we're going to solve for the diameter, and then we're going to split that in half to find the radius. So 20 is the circumference, equals 3.14 times diameter. Well, to get diameter by itself, I'm going to divide both sides by 3.14. And I'm left with diameter equals 20 divided by 3.14 is rounded 6.37 inches. So that's all the way across the circle. So to find the radius, I'm going to take half of that. So 6.37 divided by 2. And I get 3.185, rounded to the nearest tenth, would be 3.2 inches. This problem says the top of a round table has a diameter of 4.5 feet. What is the area? Round to the nearest hundredth. So we know area of a circle is 3.14 r squared, with r being the radius. So if the diameter is 4.5, the radius is half of that. So the radius is 2.25. So I'm going to take 3.14 times 2.25 squared. I have to do 2.25 squared first, and I get 5.0625, and then multiply that by 3.14. And then it says round to the nearest hundredth, so that's 2 places after the decimal. But since it's 15.896, that would round up, so it's going to be 15.9, and then area is measured in squared units, so 15.9 feet squared. The next problem says an outside game is played on a circular playing field. 1/4 of the circle can be used as a free space. What is the area of free space to the nearest tenth of a yard? So we're going to find the area of this section of the circle, and we know it's 1/4 of the circle. So I'm going to find the area of the entire circle and divide it by 4. Area equals 3.14 times r squared. So it says 12 yards is the diameter, so radius is half of that. So 3.14 times 6 squared. 6 times 6 is 36, so we have 3.14 times 36. And we get 113.04 yards squared. So the entire circle's area is 113.04 yards squared. We just need 1/4 of that though, so I'm going to divide that answer by 4. And it says round to the nearest tenth, so I get 28.3 yards squared. Then it says, what is the distance of the rounded part? So now we're going to find that part of the circumference. So I'm going to find the circumference of the whole circle and then divide it by 4. So circumference equals 3.14 times diameter. We know our diameter is 12, so 3.14 times 12. And I get 37.68. And then, since we're just finding the 1/4 of that, I'm going to divide it by 4. And I get 9.42 yards. Since it's just a distance, we don't do it squared. That's only for area. This problem says find the area of the top of the blueberry pie piece. So remember, area of a sector is arc times radius divided by 2. Our arc is 3.927. Our radius is 5, and then divide that by 2. 3.927 times 5 is 19.635 divided by 2, and we'll just round to the nearest tenth here. So 9.8 inches squared since it's area. Then we have the peanut butter jar is 6 inches tall. Find the volume of the jar. So we know it's 6 inches tall and we know the diameter is 4 inches. Remember, volume is area of the base times height. Since our base here is a circle, the area of a circle is 3.14 times r squared, and then we have times height. So we're given the diameter. To find the radius, we split that in half. So half of the diameter would be 2. So we have 3.14 times 2 squared. And then the height of my jar is 6. I'm going to do exponents first. 2 squared is 2 times 2, which is 4. And then times 6. And now I can multiply all of these together. And I get a grand total of the volume being 75.36. And then volume is measured in cubed inches. So inches cubed. This one says find the surface area. So surface area is the lateral area plus 2 times the area of the base. Lateral area is perimeter of the base times height, and then plus 2 times the base. So the perimeter of a circle is the circumference. So I'm going to do 3.14 times diameter times height plus 2 times, and then the area formula for a triangle is 3.14 times r squared. And now I plug in what I know. 3.14 times the diameter is twice the radius. So I take 3.5 times 2 and I get 7. The height of my cylinder is 5 plus 2 times 3.14 times, and then my radius is 3.5, so 3.5 squared. I have to do the multiplication before I can add these two parts together. So 3.14 times 7 times 5 is 109.9 plus, and then we have 2 times 3.14 times, and then 3.5 squared is really 3.5 times 3.5, so 12.25. And we get 76.93. Oops. And now I can add those together. And I get the surface area is 186.83, and then area is always squared, so yards squared. The last problem here says you are playing a tossing game. If you land on the white sections, you get 3 points. Landing on the yellow square gives you no points. What is the total area that'll give you points? So we're going to find the area of the big circle minus the area of the square. Well, area of a circle is 3.14 r squared. So finding the radius, I see here that the diameter is 12. So half of the diameter is the radius, so our radius is 6. So 3.14 times 6 squared. And then minus the area of a square is just length times width. And our length times width would be, let's see here, 9 times 9. And then 3.14 times 6 squared is 6 times 6, so 36. Minus 9.9. Got to do the multiplication first. 3.14 times 36, 113.04. Minus 9 times 9 is 81. So subtract those, and I'm left with 32.04 centimeters squared, since we're working with area.